Okay guys, so I'm at Canyon Village, which is near one of the big waterfalls in the park, and they have a bunch of lodges here. And this is their education center, so they have some pretty cool stuff in here. I was just gonna show you a few things and see what we can see. I've never walked through here, so I'm discovering it right along with you. Here's a pretty cool overview of the park. So let's see, where'd we come in at? Yeah, we came in from the south side here. The Tetons are down over here. And then the park is just this huge expanse. And you can see kind of mountains all around the edges of the park. And then in the middle is this big volcanic cauldron. There's the huge Yellowstone lake. We drove up, we went over here to Old Faithful and some other places over there, and drove around. I think we're right up there near the waterfalls, and then we'll drive back down past the lake today. But this is just a huge volcanic cauldron that has all those hot springs and geysers because there's all this lava activity underneath. So where is the volcano? Kind of interesting. Most of this, it looks like you gotta click some buttons and watch videos on your own, but there's the Gibbon Falls that I showed you in one of the videos. But it's just this huge caldera, so I guess it's more of a piece of the middle there, but a big chunk of the park is just a volcanic cauldron. So instead of a single cone sticking up in the air like you'd think of with a volcano, this is a massive volcano that's kind of a flat area that if it ever erupts, it'll just explode out of the middle. So kind of cool. Here's some different types of rock from the park. Volcanic rock. And you can look at these different types of rocks, what they look like. So it comes up out of the earth as liquid molten lava, and then it cools. And usually based on how it cools and the type of rock it was, it determines what it'll look like to us. So here's one type of rock. Here's another type of rock. So let's go see what else they have around here. I don't know what this big globe is. Oh, this shows you volcanic hotspots around the world. So this is a giant globe. Here we are in America, and we're probably right here. This is Yellowstone. So here's Hawaii, the Hawaiian Islands out in the Pacific, so they have volcanic activity out there as well. So kind of cool. So this is the Earth's crust. and how the ascending magma, that hot lava, comes to the surface. Magma rises because it is hotter and less dense than the surrounding rock, so it pushes its way to the surface. Or like here in Yellowstone, it pushes its way up and just creates a lot of heat up here. The magma isn't coming out, but it heats up the water and causes all those geysers and springs and so forth. So this is saying that hot spot under the crust moved under the Earth's crust, and it's here now in Yellowstone National Park, creating all those geysers and so forth. So studying the volcano, so there's certain people that go around and study what the volcano does. Here's some of their equipment. You can see that. A little backpack with a device in it. Some kind of handheld unit. Looks kind of like a calculator, but sure, it allows you to type in information and store it. Okay, let's go upstairs and see what else they have up there. I think they have some animal stuff up there, so let's go look at that. So here we are upstairs. We've got a stuffed bison and a bison calf. Kind of cool.
Not really. I mean, you can see it from Artist Point. You can see it along North River, like different perspectives if you stop at the lookouts. Otherwise, you can hike out this trail here. You don't even if you're coming way back from the hill, but you can do this section. It's not really necessarily
So a little history of the bison, or a little information about them in Yellowstone. Different types of wildlife. As I drove into Jackson, there were 2 bald eagles up in a tree just outside along the Snake River, just sitting in a giant nest. It was pretty cool. So, and then we saw a coyote over at Norris. I saw some buffalo out in the Teton Park. I went hunting with my kids for sandhill crane this year, and my daughter and son both got sandhill cranes, and they taste just like beef. Kind of weird for a bird. Normally birds taste really different, but so they've got a bunch of paintings in here. So I'm going to go show you these falls. There's a little trail that goes down to just above them. Yellowstone Falls. So there's a trail that goes down to just above that point. Should be pretty cool. We're actually up on the rim in a visitor center right now, just above those falls. What is a glacier? Kind of cool. I got a little fake piece of glacier with stone in it, and that's what grinds its way. So the power of glaciers. Here's a glacier boulder. picture of one. It's pretty cool. So if you ever see a boulder sitting out in the middle of nowhere, it might have been moved there and set there by a glacier, and then when it melted away, it just left the boulder sitting out in the middle of nowhere. Or in unexpected places, so. Some other cool stuff over here. Well, here's that map of Yellowstone from above, looking downstairs. So Yellowstone sits right in the corner of Wyoming. So most of it is Wyoming, but along certain parts, I think there's a little bit of Idaho, but then there's Montana around the edges here. And most of it is in Wyoming. So. Take you through this heat drives it all thing. Alright guys, everything else you have to see on your own. There's not a whole lot more, but there's a whole bunch of screens you can press buttons on and have them give you some information about how the park works and all that sort of thing. Pretty interesting, but it's a cool center to visit. It's here at Canyon Village near Yellowstone Falls there. So come and visit here someday. Thanks for coming on this field trip. Hopefully it was fairly interesting, not too boring just walking around the building like this, but thanks for coming guys. See ya. In the park. So there's a coyote, guys.